That's where the budget
I'm a
went.
proper Chinese
You're
man.
too
I'm going to
noble.
put the sheet over you. It's going to physics right over you.
Dang, how cold must it be in their bed? They have no blankets.
What if she farts and it flies off?
The
Biblically
We'd be watching a
accurate
better
woman.
show.
I thought that's what you wanted. Here it comes.
Were they even throwing at each other little blood balloons?
Yeah, strawberry.
Ketchup?
Look, they're falling
These
in love.
strawberries are actually made of ketchup.
Look alive.
In China, there.
They're painted red
ever tried
with
'em? Yeah.
red paint.
Welcome to the 3-episode rule, where we talk about really good anime after watching only 3 episodes of them. I'm Danny with my friends Derek, Matt, and Clay. Today we unfortunately watched To Be Hero X. I'm not sure if you say the X or not, but I'm going to. To Be Hero X.
Do you think they were thinking that was going to be cool, like Dragon Ball Z?
I think
Naming
they wanted it
conventions.
to be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the X makes it sound more hype than it probably
It's like
is.
when you're a middle schooler and you put like 7 X's on the beginning and end of your name.
If I was
It works
12,
on
I would
DeviantArt.
probably have thought this was really cool.
Yeah.
Or maybe To Be Hero is already a thing, so they added the X to just make it different.
No, yeah, there was
true.
To Be Hero before this.
This is part of like an anthology series or something like that.
I don't. Well, this seemed the 3 episodes we watched was mostly just following Nice, and I can
Our
already
hero,
see
our leading man, Nice.
It was not an anthology. This was a very, very coherent, well-told, beautiful tale.
beautiful tale.
It was possibly the most relatable protagonist I've ever seen on screen.
It was literally
Alright.
like an isekai, but the protagonist is in the same world. It's crazy.
So, all right. So I will give my description of episode 1, and then someone can do episode 2, and then 3. So episode 1, what happened was you have a loser McDipshit, who's like wants to kill himself because he has a job, and
I forgot his name.
his name is fuckface. I don't know, Gallagher. Let's call him that. So he's on the edge of a roof, and he's just like, oh, I don't know why I'm here, but I think I'm gonna jump. And then like a hot dude walks by and just falls and dies. And then
Can't forget the finger guns.
oh yeah, he does the finger guns. That
Finger
was
bang
cool.
in action.
It's funny as
Yeah.
hell, because he flies in, walks by him, finger guns him, and then just drops off the building. Fucking
Splat.
styles
He
on
rizzed
him.
him out real hard. He was rizzing him out.
I admit I chuckled. I chuckled at the guns.
Power move.
Yeah, and then he becomes the hero. Why? No reason. Because he was there, I guess.
He was there, and they
Saw
spilled
it.
white paint on him, and they're like, "Oh, you vaguely look like him."
Yeah, he witnessed the number 1 hero in the world like kill
15.
himself, and then his agency. Oh, sorry, he's number 15.
Mhm.
Yeah, his agency comes in and they're like, "You saw everything, didn't you?" And they interrogate him.
Yeah,
And he gets
they
jizz
saw
on his hair.
he saw it happen, and therefore, now he has to become him. And of course, you have like the loser character becomes the hero just because he doesn't have to earn anything; he just becomes it. So
Yeah, he
like,
gets superpowers, and he's great at like reflexes, and he fucking knows everything about the. They're trying to like shame him on TV, but of course he knows everything about this girl because he worked in an ad
Yeah.
agency. She's like, oh, so if you're really together, then how many
Yeah, so he's just-
commercials was she in? 195.
yeah, so he's just like a really, really cool, epic lad.
Yeah, really cool
And
guy.
He's the kind of guy who, if this dude existed in real life, he wouldn't look like this hot already. You know?
Yeah.
And then episode 2, what the hell happened?
So I can explain that one, I guess. His beautiful wife pretended to kill herself, and then she's like, I really want to leave. I don't want to be a hero anymore. You're not the real nice. And he's like, yeah.
Oh, is that what happened?
It was. I think that's what happened.
I thought it was
And
like
then
I thought he just... Yeah, because episode 1 ended with, like, he gets in bed with her, and then she's covered in blood.
Yeah, I think she was trying to fake her death so she could stop doing it. And
They didn't have a scene that, like, showed
really
the
just glazed
aftermath of
over
him
that.
discovering her body, yeah.
We might have been chuckling to ourselves because we might have been just so shocked by how good the first episode was that we blacked out. Anyways,
hooked,
they fucking hate, like, she's like, I hate you, and then he's like, but I like you, and then she throws a strawberry at him,
And they become best
and
friends.
then he throws a strawberry back at her, and then they're like, oh my god, you're so relatable, and they become best friends, and she's like, I still want out. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fake my death in the next during our wedding thing because I don't want to get married to you, which is
Yeah, they're getting
makes
married all of a
sense.
sudden, because that was, like...
Because it was established
apparently-
before, so they're like, oh, we're gonna get married, and they're gonna use that as an excuse. And, like, it makes sense. She doesn't want to get married to this guy she met a day ago who's pretending to be nice.
Guys, I wish I could throw strawberries at you.
Yeah, me too.
And have them explode into, like, beautiful little, like, bloodstains all over us.
But yeah, then they have that, like, they established.
Like, how ripe were those strawberries? Because strawberries, like...
No, they were throwing
you have to
ketchup.
throw
they were
It was
like-
ketchup. They were spraying ketchup on each other, guys.
It was like,
It's-
wait, it was
It's
like
Chinese strawberries. They're just ketchup packed.
Like,
the spatter was all
they
like
popped on
orange and
impact.
weird too. Like it didn't look like strawberry juice.
Yeah, no, it's just, you know, good animation, good art,
All around.
stuff.
But
Diet Arcane.
But something that stuck out at me is when they're doing the fight and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna fake your death in this fight." they they have the fight, and then she goes, "Oh, I wasn't fast enough," and then blood comes out of her, and then you're like, "Oh, okay, so she's faking the death," and he's like holding her and crying, and then she goes, "Hey, I'm faking the death, by the way. It's a blood packet." It's like, okay, I fucking know that. You told me that's what you're doing in the scene before it, and I have no reason to think that's not what's happening right now.
Yeah, that's...
Well, he didn't believe it at first. He was like, "Oh my god, she's dying."
I was thinking about that too. I think it's like he knows, but he's crying so hard because he's like, but I love you so much still. I know this is fake, but everything you've been through, I'm so moved. I don't know.
So then what happened? And
They had a great shot at the end of that though, with the sky. It was
3.
nice.
Oh yeah, the shot was that was gorgeous.
One of the few like nice parts of the show. Like every now and then the
pun
show has like,
intended.
oh wow, they put effort and money into this, and then
Yeah.
a lot of the rest is...
It looks good on stills. It's just like the way they animated them. Like, oh my god,
It kind of just reminds me of those
fights
those
look
early
nice.
janky Netflix.
I keep
animations
saying
they were putting
nice,
out.
and I keep thinking of the fucking character's name now.
The
It's
guy.
just weird.
That's what now they got you. You're never gonna be able. It's never gonna leave you.
Because
Anytime you say
he's
nice.
just so nice. He's just such a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
like-
Oh my god, he's a nice guy.
He's the nicest guy.
He's
He
yeah.
deserves
That's
everything that happens to him. He's so nice.
Yeah,
That's
the animation was just so stiff. Besides the fights, of course, they got someone who actually knew what they were doing for like the important scenes. But man, it's
in
just,
both
like,
in both like
so
3D and
noticeable.
2D too.
Yeah, the constant jumping between 2D and 3D was jarring, but I wasn't upset by it. It's just like because the 2D stuff looked good. Anytime they would switch to like some weird 2D style for no reason.
I welcomed it because
Yeah, I liked it.
The
It made
2D
no sense, but I
actually
liked
looked
it.
good and the 3D kind of was bad.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for this show, I've seen Arcane before, and I've also watched an anime before, so nothing it was really doing was that new or
Yeah, like
crazy.
the aesthetic of the 3D. I mean, it is very
And
like
the boys,
arcane,
too.
but like the aesthetic of the 3D and stuff, like it looks really good when it's like not moving, and then like the animation's just jank, and it
It's
makes it
so
like
janky.
all look really weird. It's like
it was
yeah.
very pose to pose. They wouldn't have like follow through
Yeah.
and weight of. So like there's
It's like
characters
a
that are
low-budget
waving their
Disney
arms
XD
around and
show
their
or
bodies
something.
don't move at all, and
Or
it
not-
looks
not,
so It's so
Very
noticeable.
robotic.
yeah, it's like one of those like Disney Junior shows or whatever, like Nickelodeon Junior shows where it's like made for like toddlers and like the animation budget is like nothing.
Yeah,
but if it
yeah,
looks like
it's
Arcane,
And I'm judging this a little harshly because the trailer was like really cool for it, and we didn't even get to see that fucking guy at all.
I know the guy in the trailer. I was expecting to see him, and they're like, "Who's this?
And
This Jin Woo we're following the entire time."
yeah, and this is also not like an indie studio. This isn't like Ruby or some shit, where I'd give a lot of freebies for like background stuff. This is like your premiere. This is like supposed to be high end shit, You want this to be really
Yeah.
good. So
Yeah, I think this is supposed to be like a grandstand. Like this is a big seller for that studio. They're is it what Billy or
yeah, the Chinese YouTube basically.
I guess.
I noticed they were doing the Billy thing where it has the text crawling across the screen.
Do you know what that says whenever that happens? It's like do not pirate this or the Chinese government will come after you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says, actually. Usually,
we get to
I
pirate
always see people do
everything.
the W thing a bunch of times. Man, who wants to go over episode 3, which was the episode that was about creativity being bad and evil?
The not so subtle message that anyone who's creative is immediately a villain in this,
I think I
not quite
think
this
they
totally
were
relatable society.
I think they were going for like a propaganda thing, like in World War II, like what Germany did with Jewish people. They made like propaganda posters, but for some reason they wanted it to be like quirky and relatable, and they made it like someone making comics and stuff.
well, I think there was
really
like a
bad fan fiction about what's his name, Firm Man. This is the hero that's introduced in episode 3.
So yeah, that
Well,
was like episode 3 was Firm Man.
I do think it's kind of funny because it's like, okay, they put some like slander out there or whatever. Like, oh, Firm Man's not so firm. He's actually Flaccid Man or whatever. That's the comic she threw out. And it's like, if you did that in the U.S., no one, it'd be like, okay, whatever. Like, you can do that. It's not, oh, they're a fucking villain because they did that. It was
here
kinda
they're a
weird
terrorist.
it was really weird messaging. Because then they're like, oh, she's not bad, but she also detonated C4 for some reason. So, like, what? I don't know what stance they wanted to have. I don't know if it was interference from, like, honestly, like, maybe the government or some shit. I don't know what the fuck was going on with the idea with that character.
Her motivation, too, was like, she's like, I'm so mad at the hero society for wearing you down like they have.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
blow up
blow
a
you
building
up.
with a bunch of children under it. So you're
or no, I'm gonna endanger a bunch of like kindergartners, but my actual goal is to destroy the statue and what it represents, the statue of you and what it represents.
Yeah, it's just basically I want you to retire because I care about you, so I'm gonna blow up C4 and drop a statue on a bunch of children and slander
also,
you
like,
in public.
and defame
It's
you.
like,
break
wait.
your back by
Like-
making you catch the statue that's about to fall on the children. It was a little.
And then she
kinda
pulls
not
off
really
her
makes sense.
little helmet and is like, by the way, I'm very hot. And don't worry, we do have a minority over there. And they point it to
Also,
the
it
black
was like-
person standing 40 feet away.
Yeah, it was the one.
Yeah.
The one.
That's
The one black person who they don't even have like face, like there's no face on the character. It's just like a literal shadow. It's like literal blackface in the back. You pointed out.
Yeah, it was not.
I just
not
saw
great.
it. I just saw them standing way back there. I'm like, what are these things? It's not like the other.
Because I was
Diversity.
genuinely impressed. Episode 1 and 2, they had like a sizable amount for China. I mean, like they had a decent amount of brown and black people in the crowd. We were
standard.
saying too, Lazarus is better than this.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's. I mean, come
fair
on.
assessment?
Lazarus was pretty stupid, but like. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk
entertaining.
about how episode 3 ended though with Tommy Wiseau coming in.
Oh,
Yeah,
The
the
Tommy
Tommy
Wiseau
Wiseau
coming
cameo.
in with his Xbox sponsor. And
I
he's
actually
like-
love his design. I love Cyber Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
we're not even joking, by the way. This is actually like, I mean, it's not actually Tommy Wiseau, but it's like, he looks
Dude,
exactly
you
like
look at
Tommy
the
Wiseau.
he comes on the screen, and the first thing you're thinking is like, "Oh, hi, nice.
Yeah,
Come
Oh, hi,
get
nice.
your bitch. Unless you're a chicken, cheap."
and he's followed by like these weird like drones that have this like black and green design. They look like little Xbox sponsors.
Yeah,
It's
a
like
little
the
bit.
Xbox 720.
He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't always a Microsoft boy. He was like interrogated by his like fish tank octopus started talking to him, like Green Goblin style, and then like,
like,
he
"Put on my
busted out of
VR."
the aquarium, and then like a big old Xbox started threatening him, and he's like, "I will give you the power of fear," and then. You pointed out how it's the most unthreatening looking robot ever.
Yeah, it's
that
like I would
is
just
threatening
kick
him.
this thing to the side. It's just the fucking. It's like a
Step
VR
on it.
headset
little
Yeah.
Xbox spiders.
with legs.
Yeah.
See, like I feel
like-
like
I
if it
like- I like
leaned
Cyber
into
Tommy,
that
though.
more, yeah, if it leaned into more of that goofiness, you know, it felt like it wasn't like going far enough. Like either just like jump the shark or try to do it like full, you know. Like if you're
I
gonna
feel
just
like
go
yeah,
crazy,
there were so many occasions where they could have just leaned into the goofiness and it would have been so entertaining, but they kept trying to pull it back and be like, but no, at heart we're still like a very serious drama.
yeah,
Real people.
because it wants to be solo leveling or name any shitty anime with a protagonist who goes from a
A loser
fucking
to
a loser
immediately the
imme-
coolest guy ever.
to like superstar rock star guy with sunglasses and smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, they like
You know,
barely.
girl-
Just dripping
suck
in
his dick and
bitches.
stuff.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
barely pretended that he was. They didn't even like pretend that he sucked for that long. You know what I mean?
No, they
like
only-
Deku, they
he only
like have a
sucked-
build-up arc.
I don't even
He
feel like he
only
sucked. He
sucked
just got fired.
for the-
I guess that's just it in China. Like if you don't have a job, you're just a loser.
Yeah, but he's
Yeah, that's like the ultimate
first
loser
episode.
them.
The first episode.
You don't need
he's,
a
like,
backstory
nervous.
after that. He
He's
got
like
fired.
nervous the first episode when he's like doing this stuff for the first time, right? And then that's gone.
Barely, actually.
Yeah, and then it's gone. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm a fucking god, basically."
Yeah, he's,
And they-
he's a superhero now.
And he
It's
can
very
parkour
nice.
and has super strength because they're like, oh yeah, his suit gives him power.
We might have been just
You
trying to
don't
like
think about
decipher what was going on too, but I don't remember them giving like a real good explanation of like how he got the powers. It's like in his suit, I guess, but like not. And so it's like people believe in him and that's how he gets stronger or
He gets
something
stronger,
like that.
yeah, based on his fame.
But,
That's
like-
what his agent said.
Yeah, but it's like they didn't like explain how the power was transferred to him is the thing.
I think they said the suit.
I think
I thought it was
I
the
mean,
suit.
I said that. I just
Oh.
assumed that.
His
Because,
little
like-
Iron Man core and his suit.
Yeah, that's what
gives him
I
power.
was like. It seemed like it was like all drawing from that, but like
Well, there's something
just
on his
rolled-
wrist that was like counting how many followers he had or something, and then he's like, "I'm stronger.
my followers,
My
on
followers
Twitter.
are increasing."
Yeah, I mean, like we were like laughing
Just
over 90% of it, but I'm sure if you like really sit down and pay attention, they just exposition why stuff is the way it is in the show.
They probably said it very directly too, because nothing is like there's no subtext like ever. It's like
Yeah.
very just like
There was
this
this-
is what's happening. We're
yeah.
explaining what's happening. This is how I feel. We're explaining how I feel. Like there's not like any like shot placement that like isn't followed up by like something being explained verbally.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I was also calling the scenes during the interview. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna know this question. Of course he will, because he's the protagonist.
Yeah,
He's a nice
you're
guy.
like, he's gonna know everything about her because he's
a
obsessed with
super
her.
fan, basically. Yeah.
It
But
really
then
is just
here
like
it's kind of like actually that part is like it was very predictable, but it kind of made sense because he worked at the superhero ad agency enough to know these things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
but
like-
still, it's like, oh, that's just so convenient. It could have been
Like yeah, it's
anything.
still like a very like, oh, of course they're gonna go with this thread, but
And
at least
literally,
Makes sense.
think about it this way: if he didn't die, in the first episode, what did we gain from it being this random guy? Like, it could have just been it could have been the original Nice the whole time, basically.
Yeah,
and the girl's
no,
like,
but then
oh,
we
I want
wouldn't
to
have
get
had
out of the wedding.
self-insert.
No, because see, us as the audience, we relate.
We
relate to Nice. Or sorry, we relate to
Lindling. That's his name. His name is
Loser
Lindling.
Loser
McD.
McDipshit. We related to him because he was about to kill himself,
and
and
he's
we're
a loser.
all
the
about
verge.
to kill ourselves. So, and that way we relate, and then we can see.
Yeah, we all, because I think.
Yeah, it's really just
You're
like,
right.
do you ever work?
Do you
Doesn't
ever
that suck?
work and not like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to kill yourself?
Don't you wish
remember
like
you
a
ever
really
got
famous
fired
celebrity
once?
would? Yeah, don't you wish a really famous celebrity that kind of looks like you would just kill themselves and you could take their place?
That's why I'm saying it's like an isekai without the dying. Well, they're still dying.
feel
It's just
like-
the other guy.
I feel like this
Yeah,
show.
actually,
like-
that's a fun twist. The
I feel like
isekai,
this
but
show would be like
he doesn't die.
huge hit for like those random people in like e-girl like Twitch streams and stuff that are like there every stream. You know what I mean? Like some random, what's her name, like
Mods?
Imiru or whatever. It's like some random Stan who just like kind of sits in their comments all the time, and it's like that's the
Stans
guy
who
that
blow
this
all
is
their
aimed
money.
for, because it's like that's literally him. Like he's like, yeah, I've been watching this girl for like years, and then he goes on a game show after becoming, this white knight,
Shit.
and
So
then
this
like
is
it's like
this is like Perfect Blue from the perspective of the psychopath.
A little bit.
But
Look how
it's like,
cool and relatable he is.
But
We
it's
gotta
like
give that psychopath a
romanticized.
chance.
It's like an autistic version of Perfect Blue, where you get to see
that's so fucked up. But like, you're
Yeah,
not
and like
wrong.
it's like no, I don't actually. I'm interested in you more than just for like your
That's
looks. I
fucking
actually know all
crazy.
this shit about you as a person.
Oh my god.
I actually care. Let's be best friends and throw strawberries at each other.
Yeah, this is like the headcanon for like, like what people think when they meet their like e crushes that they have a parasocial
Yeah.
relationship with.
If you're the kind of guy that's wailed like over $100 on some chick's stream to get
Stop
her to
it.
like acknowledge
Get some
you,
help.
I think you'll love the show. Actually, the show
Well, you see, I've
Yeah,
done
heavy
that,
send on it,
but
though.
I still don't like the show. So your theory is not very well founded, my friend.
yeah, actually, they could have represented me better.
They could have
girl wasn't
represented me
that
better. I would have been really cool. I wouldn't have left. I wouldn't have let her leave. I would have grabbed it. Just like
That's crazy.
I kind of wish I wish they went with like the boys' approach. When the guy jumped off the roof and splattered, I was like, oh, maybe this is gonna be like kind of comedic, over the top, violent, like the boys. Like it's gonna have some edge. No, it's like the softest show for little babies.
Yeah,
It is weird,
they
too.
dabble in it a bit. I mean, there's definitely cues from the boys, like when the super fast guy runs into Hardman and he
And
explodes.
splatters.
Yeah, it's like the boys part, but that scene in the boys, but reversed.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's literally like reverse part of that, because it would be like
And the
the fast guy ran into him and blew up.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and
weird,
the whole
too,
like
because-
superhero agency thing. That I feel like the boys really popularized that. They kind of do it in Boku My Hero a little bit too.
Oh yeah, where it's like it's like
an
ad
advertising agency.
and they're like, hey, you're like
Yeah.
the top hero. Like that was also kind of boys-ish. I would have liked it if the characters were a bit more flawed, and it could have been more funny and interesting.
Well,
Like,
the one guy,
even him
he-
in his
he
like
was
first
flawed.
fight, like even though he got the powers, maybe he sucks with like using them, at least at the start. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's
you-
like instantly.
that'd be
perfect
really fun
reflexes.
to see. He
Yeah,
uses them
instantly
very
cool.
irresponsibly.
Yeah, he has to like figure out how to like shoot lasers or fucking whatever he was doing. Like,
Yeah, there was none of that. He's just a pro instantly at this.
He like instantly shows up with a cigarette in his mouth and is like, "Babe, light my cigarette," and then she lights it, and it's like, "Yeah,
Babe, let's get married, but don't worry, not really.
I'm
I'm gonna.
Fucking cool.
We'll let you kill
His
yourself
back-
so you can leave.
back against the brick wall." Yeah, just fucking chilling. Yeah, he didn't do anything to earn anything. It just happened because you gotta be in the right place at the right time, I guess.
Hey, that's kind of
That's
like
a-
how Hollywood is normally.
That's a fun story. It's how Hollywood is.
Supposedly,
Yeah, you know, like you get discovered, and then all of a sudden you have like a hit Netflix show because someone saw your comedy special.
Oh,
on
because
YouTube.
you were
Yeah, but you still
on the
have to
Joe
work at
Rogan
it.
podcast.
Yeah, if Loser McGee was like he was a guest, if they had Nice as a guest on the Joe Rogan podcast, it would have made more sense.
that would be what. It's not even like it's like that scene, except for it's like live action Joe Rogan and then 3D Nice sitting there talking to him, and he's just like they're just talking about
someone can edit
nothing.
that.
So, can we talk about your name? It's Nice.
Jamie, pull up that video of him fighting the business guy.
So
Yeah.
you've studied jujitsu, right? You have a background in what kind of martial arts?
Jujutsu Kaisen, I think. Is that what it is?
Jujutsu Kaisen, you said?
You ever do DHT?
Hey, hey, yeah, pull up the video of you beating up your boss. That had to be cathartic, right? When you beat up your boss? When he showed up on the game show in a fucking crab suit? Or
Yeah,
frog?
the boss
Sorry,
came
frog.
back.
Oh, it was a literal boss fight.
Yeah, it was a boss fight.
Oh.
Yeah, you enjoyed that,
see,
right?
That's the reaction they wanted initially. We should have said that when we were watching it.
Nice guy.
Well,
I
he
wonder
looks
if
so-
we would have had
he
any
looks so
different
derpy.
reaction if we watched it in like Chinese, like in it like with subs. I wonder if the writing is like any cleaner.
I think the writing definitely is different in a few parts because there is a part where the dub said beta male.
Oh yeah.
When was that? I remember him saying that.
It's
It
when
was
it
the
was
girl
random guy with
drawing.
beta male.
It was the girl drawing firm, and they're like, "Why? That's not firm. That's a beta male you drew." And then
the bullies, yeah.
yeah. Then they pull her pigtails and start kicking her teeth out.
That was some of the most cartoonish bullying in a show. Like, yeah, they might as well have just. It's like that's another option. You guys could have just gone full into it and just made them like start kicking her on the ground too, while these
Yeah,
guys
that
were,
would've
like,
been-
taking apart her easel and
backsto-
like showing it to the class.
Go like
That
another.
story was like kind of like sad. It was kind of tragic. It was kind of like there was something there, but then yeah, it was just not like
that story
it
was
felt like
20
there-
seconds.
No, I mean there was like a whole.
I'm gonna
'cause
go
it
back
kept-
to it right now. That was like fucking 20 seconds. It was her like going, "Oh, I'm sad."
Alright, but yeah, but still, like, my point though is that like it just kind of feels like they're constantly pulling back whenever they get like deep for some reason.
It seemed like a thing where they were like, "Oh wait, shit, yeah, we should make sure that she's like sympathetic." Yeah, just animate a thing where she's being bullied and have that. It was one of the better looking scenes in that episode too.
All right, it starts at
Because it was 2D.
Yeah, because it was in 2D.
15:10. Ends at 16.
It's like, if we don't show this aspect of your life, you're just gonna look like a psycho. So you gotta show you like your obsession
Yeah.
with this guy, the
If-
superhero.
I don't
it-
understand what
everything.
the fucking like wolf mask, like the wolf skull, like they.
Yeah,
they
why
didn't
why does she
explain
call
that
herself
at all.
Wolf Girl?
It looks cool.
It does
Yeah, I
look
think-
cool. She looks like the SCP furry thing, the SCP furry girl.
Oh yeah,
You know
a
what I'm
little
talking
bit. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think
Wears a
there's a
wolf mask.
purpose to most of the things that happen in this show. It's
Like you thought that design had no direction. What about the guy from episode 2, the
Yeah,
arrow-headed knight
I
suit
wanted
guy?
to bring him up.
SCP-1471 is what it is.
But yeah, Matt, the guy from episode 2, exactly. What the fuck was his design? He just had an arrow on his face, and he looked like kind of vaguely like a Dark Souls boss with like the crazy crown.
Not
It's like-
even. Oh, yeah, because he has like a helmet that it's like you could like look kind of look like a FromSoft villain, but then like the business suit and the cape and then the claymore, and then he can grow mountains. Like he literally summons the Grand Canyon for them to fight in for like 5 minutes.
The frog guy from the first one, I felt like that one was more obvious, where he was one in gold. He had a giant coin on his chest to represent money.
I know the
And he had
frog
this-
thing was it's based off of like a Asian myth. I think Chinese.
Yeah, I would assume the frog had significance with that as well, but like also
gold
his
coin,
fists
yeah.
were
Yeah,
stamps
prosperity.
for like doing
seals,
business. Yeah.
Toads mean wealth.
But I don't.
like
The
money.
second villain in episode 2 with the random arrow, I don't get what he was supposed to be. I don't know if that's maybe there's cultural representation in it, like it's something with like Chinese mythology or something, but it just seemed completely dysfunctional. It made no sense.
Yeah, design was a mess, but yeah, you're probably right. It probably is also representative of some kind of Chinese myth.
That's like I'm giving it benefit of the doubt, but I don't know.
You don't think so?
It looked like they just made a random thing. Like the wolf girl felt really random. Like, why is she the wolf girl? She's like being a creative writer. Like, she's like making art, and she wants to get him to stop. Like, why a wolf? And then why does she grab the child menacingly after blowing up a building or a statue with C4 to get her?
And why does he just like? He's just like, oh, it's the girl I saved like 20 years ago, and I interacted with.
What a twist!
I guess it's because like
because
of like the scarf, so it was like there was like a lot of sentimental value behind it. But still, I feel like, you know, as like a functioning hero in this society for as long as he's been working, you know, that like his first instinct might be like, hey, let's get you like, let's get you in a padded room first, and then like figure this out, because like what the fuck, you just blew up this statue. You know,
didn't show any
harmed this
repercussions either
child.
to her actions. Like there wasn't even a shot of her getting arrested.
It didn't even bring her up again. Yeah.
Yeah,
she was just
out
gone.
of there.
What is the main character's goal?
To be a hero.
to be nice.
To be a hero, X.
Yeah,
Well, he
Just
is
there
a
to
hero.
be.
He is already a hero at this point.
He's gonna be the number one hero.
Oh, okay. So right there, the description. I'm looking at your stream that you still have open on the thing. This is a world where heroes are created by people's trust, and the hero who has received the most trust is known as X. So X is probably the fucking slickback guy, and then
He looks so untrustworthy.
yeah,
It's like the least trustworthy guy design you could ever
Well, that
think
explains
of. It was
that
like a
explains
mafioso
the
dude.
X then.
yeah, but that explains why like for example, Firm was so strong on accident, because he like saved that little girl, and so he gained like powers then, and then everyone saw that video and was like, holy shit, this is the man, and that I guess that made him like super strong.
I almost feel like that's.
I
like
thought he was already strong in the
cultivation.
beginning.
Well, he was, but like, you know, he was trying to lift the thing, and her trust in him is what gave him the extra strength to like lift it off of both of them, is what I think is being implied.
Oh.
So this is like a.
But like, this was also not really explained well at all
This is like
in the show.
The power
'Cause-
of friendship bullshit.
Because Nice, when he saves both of them, Wolf Girl and Hardman, he like lifts the statue with like no problem.
Yeah, because all
Doesn't
the
he?
fans are.
Yeah, because
cheering.
everyone saw Nice, and they were like, holy shit, it's
nice.
the
and
guy.
He's being such a nice guy.
Okay, so their trust then in Nice, you're like, wow, this guy's so hyped. That's what gives him the extra strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lady at the
Okay.
beginning who tried to kill him or beat the shit out of him or whatever, and then it's like, oh wait, actually, you kind of look like him. She started recording during that encounter and like streamed it, and then a bunch of fans were like, yeah, you're awesome, and then he got more powerful.
Okay, so it's like they're trying to do a little statement on like the power of social media and its effect on.
I don't think that's what they're trying to do.
I don't think that's what
I don't think
Is it-
I don't think it's that deep, bro.
I think they're trying to sell everyone on TikTok.
I feel like they try. They
like-
there's a little inkling of something deeper in subtext, but then it just gets so lost in.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, but it has to be these other things too, because like this whole project, this IP seems like the kind of thing like a bunch of studio heads got together and. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah,
This
it's
feels
literally
like
like-
something that has been sanded down so much that it just, I don't know. It
yeah.
doesn't feel like anything.
It feels like I said earlier, it feels like a kid like kind of like taking all their favorite foods and trying to combine it all at the same time, and then realizing that you shouldn't do that, so you have like a friggin' ice cream pizza or something like that, like all these different things that just do not blend together at all, but they're just like, oh, this is cool, this is kind of cool. And it feels like there are parts where it's like there's little sprinkles of like, ooh, this is really cool, and it feels like something's being said here, but then it's like it just attaches to nothing. It just goes nowhere.
Yeah, it's immediately followed by the main character just not doing shit. I don't know. I'm like,
Or being
I'm trying to
remotely
think-
interesting in any way.
I'm trying to think, like, do the main characters like each other even at this point? Like, they kind of had a moment where they did, but I wasn't sure why. Like, I just...
They threw strawberries
Like,
at
Oh,
each other.
him and his babe.
Oh, you're
what's her name?
right. The fucking strawberries.
They threw strawberries
God
and
damn
they
it.
were
I
instantly
hate-
friends.
No, but they genuinely bonded because she was like saying, like she taught him like, hey, you can be yourself, you know. And then he's like, wow, it's like I'm getting to know the real you, my goddess, my e-girl goddess.
and then she
And I was like, wow, I relate to this guy so hard. He's literally me.
and then she left at the end of the
Holy
episode
shit.
and threw her little
What's her name?
blast
I
around.
wish Emi Richu would react to me that way one day.
God, what a fucking show.
The fucking strawberries. I forgot about that for a
The
second.
strawberries
You're
that
right.
stain like blood.
Yeah.
Okay, so they do like each other because of a stupid reason. But before,
It's really
it's
good.
friends.
Throw
at the
strawberries,
beginning,
that's a great reason.
they didn't like each other at first, right?
Well,
Or am I
he
tripping?
liked her.
Well, she hated him from the get-go because she hates her
Yeah,
job
that's what
so
I thought.
much.
Yeah, she hated him, but he liked her.
I think she also hated like the previous Nice too was part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
'Cause,
just
like,
like
that
a
was-
fed up, like I'm so done with my job, I want to retire.
Yeah, there was a whole
Gonna be a
part where
bitch
she
to
was like,
everybody.
"You're nothing like him," and then like that, they kind of spun it like that was a good thing.
Yeah, you don't.
They
beat-
kind of
you don't
hinted at
beat
something
me.
deeper though, because didn't she say she had a line where she was like, the previous Nice wasn't any better, you know, he was such a perfectionist, he took it out on everybody, and then I was like, oh, are we going somewhere with that? And then like, no.
Yeah, we're gonna get some like fucking edge or like some I don't know,
Context is
stakes.
like you're gonna show some of the shit you had to endure with your previous like co-pilot. This explains why you are the way you are.
Yeah, it was like the perfect place to put an unnecessary flashback that would have actually given some context.
every
yeah,
fight.
what's going on.
No,
Yeah.
the one thing I needed was, I guess I'm stupid, but like, yeah, the whole part like where he discovers her bloodied corpse in the bed, like that wasn't, that was actually, that happened, or that was a hallucination, because they just breezed over it in the next episode.
Yeah, the next episode, she's just there on the treadmill, just going for a jog. And,
Yeah, but that ending, the ending to episode 1, it was like, okay, with all the shit that we went through, this is like, whoa, what happened here? It just hits you
It
with
was,
this.
yeah, it could have been crazy
Intense,
to jump
like-
off that.
Yeah. Like this murder scene he stumbles upon in his bedroom. And I was like, whoa, okay, that's interesting. Where are we going to go with that? Episode 2
No.
begins, oh, it was a dream?
Yeah,
Or,
it was all a dream. This show's actually not real. You're dreaming right now, so...
I'm glad this
I hope
show's
so.
not real because all the talent wasted on these like animation are going to be.
they got some big names, man. Mappa was in it. Aniplex
Yeah,
was
they
in
did
it.
like the outro supposedly, from what we could surmise.
There's no basis on that. We're just assuming.
Yeah, it
yeah,
just
because
just
the
looked
outro looked
Mappa.
nice, so we were assuming it was Mappa that did that.
it was just
I wanna be
Mappa's logo surrounded by a bunch of Chinese characters, so like it was like kind of hard to decipher it.
I wouldn't be surprised if did Mappa do The World Ends With You? Did they do that? Because a lot of the animation segments looked like The World Ends With You, like art style wise.
I didn't even know The World Ends With You had an anime.
They did. They had an anime adaptation. It was a little bit smaller. It just follows the plot of the first game, which is pretty good.
We should watch that.
We could watch it. I wouldn't mind rewatching it. It's been a while.
I never watched it.
I can't. I feel like I have seen it, but I don't remember.
Does it begin with Neku on a rooftop? He just got
Oh,
fired from his job.
this.
and he's
Yeah,
like,
dude, yeah.
God, I wish I was.
Oh, dude, how'd you know that? And he says, like, I wish I could be this really cool guy. And he jumps off the roof.
And he wakes up as the really cool guy.
No,
you
he
wanted to
dies. And then everyone's just at his funeral. And they go, wow, why'd he do that?
be. Truly, the world ended with him.
The world to end it with him.
At his
No,
funeral.
no. It's not...
This world needs to end. This Hero X world. Jesus.
So the studio... No, it wasn't Mappa who did The World Ends With You.
Although I will say, the ending to episode 3, same thing with episode 1. Like, what a twist, what a hook. Tommy Wiseau kidnaps his not girlfriend BFF, who supposedly left to actually retire.
Oh yeah.
At the end of episode 2, and she's back now. It's like, oh, is that a clone jutsu? Is that a hologram? Is that actually her?
Do I care?
Is it
It
actually
probably is
Tommy
her. I
Do
mean,
I care?
She doesn't really have any powers. She just has a weird
She had
portal
a
gun.
fucking gun. Yeah, she sucked.
Yeah, she was not.
It was very much
Remotely
like, get out of the way.
cool.
The men are fighting right now.
They literally had a scene like that. You pointed out when the guy was like, they left her behind to go talk.
Yeah, he's like, wait,
Yeah.
you're
She
after
was fighting
me,
to get back in
aren't
that
you?
conversation.
And he's like, no, I'm here for my gay lover. And then they go run off in the corner.
Yeah, the
That's another
Dragon
interesting
Ball
thing too. I think they were
syndrome.
hinting at that. Because the arrow guy or the Canyon Arrow King man ended up
Canyon Arrow
being
King.
like they kind of implied like him and the previous Nice used to be like butt buddies
Yeah, something like that.
in the
They
best
were like,
way.
yeah, they were like
They
friends.
seemed like really
They-
tight.
they- I
bros
think
that
it was
fuck
like
on the side.
The idea was that they both wanted to be heroes together, and then Nice
Yeah.
like got farther than him.
Left him behind.
But like it also ended with him just being like, "This is meaningless," and then he just like falls off into the void.
Yeah, he falls.
Yeah.
We never know what happened to that. There's no confirmation on his death, so I'm like, is he probably
It's
gonna come
probably
back?
fine. If they don't show a character die, they typically don't die. And I do not have any expectations for this show to do anything wild or
Yeah,
crazy. To be
like you don't really
honest.
care if he comes back or not.
It's just no. The
So,
show's just been
guys-
predictable.
Guys, how many how many ketchup packet strawberries out of 10 would you give this show?
I don't want to
Out
give
of
it an
exploding
out of 10.
strawberries.
I just want to do watch or not, to be honest.
Okay.
It's a solid 3, I think.
3 strawberries.
3
Give it 3
strawberries.
Because like for me personally, I did not care about anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so like 50-50 for me because like it wasn't really like great, but I also like I feel like there's like bits and pieces
There's
that
like
were kind of
decent
cool.
artistry.
Yeah,
for
the
parts
art.
of
Yeah,
it.
there's so many good bits, especially like animation wise. Like the 2D shit rocked, and like there was definitely
It
some
was
good
good.
3D shit
I wasn't
too.
like
the
wowed
fighting,
by it.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. So
Right.
I don't know. It's definitely not like cohesive. There's just no like there's nothing to
Some
like
of
bring
it-
it together.
Some of it looked nice, but it was like
Some of it
There's
looked
no-
nice.
It needed
No
it needed a
purpose.
writer.
no purpose to it. It's pretty at moments, but it's not though. Majority of the time, it looks like shit. Like, let's be clear. The 3D sucked.
The 3D material wise and like composition, it was the way they moved it. The way the animation was definitely the weakest point on the 3D segments for non-action. Like when they did a fight, they were trying. But when they're just like standing around and stuff,
Yeah,
They
it,
were,
felt,
like,
noticeable.
it feels like
Moments, but
they
I don't
saved
know.
too much of the budget for like all the cool stuff, and then like had like no budget for everything else. And
all the actual like
they didn't
character
even lead
development
into
stuff.
that at all.
Yeah, so we're all agreeing 3 strawberries out of 10.
3 strawberries. Yep.
That's the official rating.
Well,
Any other rating?
because we
Choose
touched
Me
on this
Hero
when we were
X.
watching it. If the show was actually, if this was just a full blown indie project and it was made by like a team of 5 or 10 people, I'd be like, okay, that would jump this up to maybe
Yeah, this would be
I
fucking
would
legendary.
expect
7 or an 8.
I would.
But the fact that it's like a big name studio churning this out and probably charging for it because it's like subscription based, right? Billy or I don't know actually.
No, if it was the same exact thing, honestly, I don't care how many people worked on it. I wouldn't watch it.
I that's what I was saying, because if it was a smaller studio, I think they would actually have some cojones to do something.
Yeah, it'd probably be more interesting.
They-
I feel like if
Probably
there was
would inject
less
some
people, it'd be more
personality.
cohesive. Like there would be
That's a good
less
point, yeah.
ideas spread out, so it'd be like more dense. With like, first of all, there wouldn't be like so much. Like imagine all these episodes with just like all of like just remove like the first 15 minutes of the episode and just gets to that like core shit at the end. Like these episodes would be awesome. right? Because like everything happens right at the end. Like all the story, everything builds up, everything comes together, and then there's just like a whole lot of nothing earlier in the episodes. So it's like I feel like a smaller team would focus more on just like that really dense, like strong stuff that was there,
I feel
and it would
like-
just be a lot more
yeah.
cohesive.
I feel like a smaller
They wouldn't-
team
they wouldn't
would
string along
actually
their
have
assets.
something they wanted to say.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Like Attack on
Okay.
Titan is a huge show, but that actually has a fucking plot. You actually care. You know what they want to do in the fucking show. They want to fucking stop the Titans. That's just the beginning, and then it evolves and you see how it changes the characters throughout. Like it's really fucking good writing. You have this fucking show where he's like, "Ah man, I really wish I was a cool hero. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I got fired. Oh, I gotta kill my boss after I became a cool hero? Man, this is fucking epic. Oh, and I also
If they
gotta
just leaned
hang
into
out
the
with-
craziness and the humor, this show could have elevated the material, but
Oh.
they're trying to be too many.
Yeah, if the main
I
character
forgot
was kind
about
of
the
like,
scene at the end of episode
kinda
3 where he's
crazy.
trying to sit on the toilet. That was
Oh,
kind of
that's-
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was genuinely funny. The firm guy,
Yeah, firm.
where it talks about how what was it like he wasn't allowed to take off his Iron Man boots.
Yeah, so he couldn't like
was just forced
sit
to-
or lean or whatever.
Yeah, there's a scene where he's struggling to just take a shit. That was like genuinely funny.
yeah, because his knees couldn't buckle. He was firm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like if they just like leaned into it, made it just super goofy, that it would have been like way better. But the main character's just too like generic. Like if he was just like if he got those powers, like if that dude just killed himself in the beginning and then he gets the powers and he was just like, fuck yeah, and then just like immediately starts just like diving into all this bullshit that he just wanted to do, I feel like it would have been great. But he just,
it would've
like-
been so much funnier if he like was completely an asshole. Like he was just undeserving of getting these powers.
Kind of more realistic too. Like if I'm thinking, like honestly, if
I
like a
mean,
guy like that got that kind of power all at once, to be like
Or just like if
a
he
menace.
had if he had a presence, even just a personality, just like a goal, like beforehand.
What is
Yeah,
his goal? Fuck.
Like he doesn't have a
Doesn't have
goal.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Literally doesn't have one. So, all right, I think we have to wrap it up, right? So, it's almost 2. So,
Yeah.
for me, I'm never gonna watch this piece of shit again. So,
Come on, man. What like with anything? Like I'll bet you eventually we're gonna get a comment be like, "No, it's a slow burn. I swear. By episode 6,
4.
it ramps up."
Episode 6, the one the guy said sucked ass and he hates the
Yeah.
random review you posted.
I could have misread that. I think he was saying fuck episode 6 because like he's so passionate about the storyline, and he said like episode 6 like nosedives or takes like a pivot into something. I don't know. I should have like tried watching the
well,
actual video instead of.
the title is "Fuck Episode 6" and
And everything
everything
it
it
stands.
represents. So take that how you want to, I guess.
That's a hook.
So yeah.
So good.
So, what are your guys' thoughts? Watch or no?
No, I'm not watching it.
And
I literally-
because you know
my
what,
eyes
you
were
get
glazed.
jabootied, you get jebaited with the trailer because you think you're watching the cool Yakuza guy, and you get this Melvin who is not him, and he's in the credits too. The cool guy's in like the opening, the credits. So it's like, when does he come in? 3 episodes, nothing. Nah.
Yeah, X
Yeah.
to be Hero X, the guy.
Yeah, we're assuming he's X. The cool
I am-
guy.
Yeah, I would
99%
say that
sure
like
he's
either
X.
watch Arcane because that's like what it's trying to pull from a lot, or just like any like Riot like cinematic stuff. It's just very strong. Or alternatively, watch Super Crooks, which is like the opposite of this, where it's a guy who gets superpowers and he does have like
that
selfish
based off-
nature and stuff. And
Is
he's
Super
like,
Crooks
and-
based off the Mark Miller comic?
it might be. I don't know off the top of my head.
I like that one. I read it before.
Yeah, I mean, we could if you guys haven't seen that, I would definitely say we could give that one a watch because I like that
I
one a
have
lot.
I never
Yeah.
saw it.
I haven't seen it. I didn't even know it got an animated adaptation.
Yeah, it's
But-
like a Netflix anime. It's pretty
Alright, before
alright.
we-
But yeah,
So you're saying watch or not? That's all we're doing. All right, I'll take
Probably
it.
not. Yeah, you can skip it.
All right. Thanks for listening to 3 Episode Rule. See you next time. Like and subscribe